I'd like to call the Tuesday, June 30th meeting of the Riverton City Council Finance Committee to order. The chair would entertain a motion on the consideration of claims.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to pay the amount of $458,240.46. Checks written for payroll and liabilities for 6/12/15 in the amount of $217,642.27, and manual checks in the amount of $4,746.39. And that totals up for $680,629.12.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the bills today? Either of you?
No, sir, not for me.
Okay. I also have nothing, so all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Anything else, Stephen?
No, Your Honor.
All right, meeting adjourned.
Oh, it's so sad to think about the good times, you and I, 'cause baby now we got bad blood.
6 p.m. Would Councilmember Bailey lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? And if we could remain standing, I'll offer an invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity that we have to serve the city of Riverton tonight. Be able to discuss the issues of finance that concern the citizens of Riverton, and that we'll be able to understand the items in the budget and things that we need to deal with this evening. Thankful for the end of this fiscal year and the opportunity it gives us to account for our activities prior 12 months. I pray for insight and understanding that we might be able to master the material that's before us. These things we ask in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Would the city clerk please conduct a roll call?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilman Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilman Martin Canan.
Here.
Councilman Jonathan Fabian.
Here.
Councilman Lee Martinez.
Here.
Councilman Kyle Larson.
Here.
Councilwoman Holly Gibbon. Here. Mayor John Lars Baker.
I am present, and I declare that we have a quorum. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as written.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. Finance Committee recommendations, the approval of claims to be paid. Could we have the Finance Committee report?
Your Honor,
Mr. Fabian.
it's the recommendation of the Finance Committee for claims to be paid in the amount of $458,240.46. Checks written for payroll and liabilities for June 12, 2015 in the amount of $217,642.27. Manual checks in the amount of $4,746.39 for a total of $680,629.12.
Is there a motion to approve the Finance Committee report?
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Been seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, Mayor votes aye and the motion passes. The next item of business is a public hearing and consideration Resolution 1320, fiscal year 14-15 budget amendment. Could we have the city administrator's report, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Staff has reviewed the budget adjustments necessary to bring the budget into line with what was been happening in the fiscal year 15. Most changes needed in accordance with statutory requirements have been absorbed through line items, transfers, and funds already allocated by the council through the initial mid-year budget adjustment. commencing in December of 2014. However, some additional monies will be required due to prior council action and the purchase and/or project not currently being appropriated for in the fiscal year budget at the time. So in the general fund, as of today in the general fund, only two cost centers, city administrator and capital outlay, have been identified as needing adjustments. City administrator's cost center is overexpended due to salary benefit miscalculation and can be amended with funds already appropriated in fiscal year 15 in the amount of $5,000. This type of transfer from one cost center to another has to be approved by the governing body since the total bottom line of the cost center was increased or decreased. The other cost center in the general fund is capital outlay, which will require additional monies using reserves and/or grant funds. The capital outlay is overexpended by approximately $98,000 due to the purchase of the Durapatcher. A portion of the cost of the council chambers, court system, sound system, and a pass-through of Daniel's fund grant monies for the skate park for an additional $100,000. Our bottom line total for the general fund will be increased by $200,000 in both revenues and expenses. In the debt service fund, this fund will need to be adjusted by $1,140,000 due to retiring the debt of a project completed 20 years ago. This was a revenue bond that came due. We received the funds, then paid them out, so essentially a wash. And then in the airport fund, as with the general fund, this fund has only one cost center, DCI building maintenance, being identified as needing adjustment. We can transfer funds from the terminal building cost center in the airport fund to the DCI building cost center. The amount necessary for this appropriation is $1,400. So the budget impact, immediate impact to the budget amendment is $200,000 for additional appropriations in the general fund and $1.14 million in the debt service fund for fiscal year 15. Council recommends approval of resolution 1320.
The chair would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
Your Honor, I'll make the motion that we open the public hearing.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to open the public hearing. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. The motion passes. I now declare the public hearing to be open. The hearing will be conducted in accordance with state statutes with other applicable laws. I would ask those individuals wishing to address the council to approach the podium and identify yourselves for the record.
Your Honor, seeing none,
Mr. Fabian.
seeing none, I would move to close the public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to close the public hearing. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. I now declare the public hearing to be closed. The chair would entertain a motion to adopt resolution 1320.
Your Honor, I would move to adopt resolution number 1320.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adopt resolution 1320. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor,
Mr. Larson.
we purchased the Durapatcher, and we've obviously received it. Are we going to get a report on this fine machine, or?
We could have a little, Mr. Butterfield. It's been out on the street, hasn't it?
Your Honor, we are happy to have it, and I think it's being put to great use. It's actually been out on the road nearly every day each week since we've purchased it, and I'm very pleased with the results we're getting. We're able to not only patch potholes, but we're also finding that it's very effective for depressed areas where the grade is having an issue. So it's working great, and we appreciate the council's appropriation of funds towards that piece of equipment.
One more question.
Go ahead.
Are we keeping track of the hours and usage, not as but to determine the real value of the piece of equipment for maintaining our roads? We're going to have review of our roads, we've got this piece of equipment. We should have a steady increase or improvement in our roads using this equipment. Will there be some type of correlation that you can report back to us on so that we can pat ourselves on the back on the fine investment we made?
Your Honor, that's definitely something we can work on. Streets crew are already tracking time that they're putting towards the streets, their patcher, so we can.
Thank you.
Mr. Fabian?
I'd just like to say a big thank you to city staff. I know this is a lot of work to put all of this together, and it looks like it came out well. Thank you.
Thank you. I had an opportunity to review the line item profit and loss statement yesterday, and reality is that about, with the exception of about 3 line items, we're well within budget on everything we're working on. So that isn't too bad. And the one that we violated was where we decided to buy this great big piece of equipment, not use 1% tax money to do it. So the rest of this is unanticipated income that we didn't have, and so we need to show it as revenue that we received and then spent. That's pretty good. I'm satisfied with what we've done in the last year. So are we ready to vote on this motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion passes. Mr. Fabian, you've got some business?
It's with mixed emotions tonight that I'm announcing that my family has decided to purchase a new home, which is outside the boundaries of Ward 1. This unfortunately necessitates my resignation from the city council, which will be effective July 15th. I gave great consideration whether or not we should wait until my term was up to purchase this place, but it was simply an opportunity that just could not be passed up. It has been a pleasure getting to know all of you fellow council members. I've truly enjoyed the discussions and debate and everything else on all of the issues that have come up, and I've truly enjoyed my last 2.5 years on the council. I've learned a lot more than I could have ever imagined, that's for sure. I hope that during my term, the citizens have found me to be a responsive council member and tried to help them out with whatever came up. I also want to say a special thank you to the city staff for patiently educating me on local government and the processes that go into that. You guys have always gone above and beyond whenever anything came up, and I truly appreciate it. And I hope to see a lot of excellent candidates come forward and show interest in filling this vacancy. I would encourage anyone who's interested to remember that this is really a position where the only qualifications needed are a willingness to learn, a passion for helping others, and an open door to listen to your constituents' concerns, and a desire to help the city of Riverton. So thank you very much for allowing me to serve on this council. It has truly been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I will miss you. No, we will. Maybe should I read this letter?
Good, yeah.
This is a letter that Stephen has written and I approve of to our congressional guys in Washington. This one's to Mr. Enzi. I am writing on behalf of the city of Riverton to ask for your support and commitment to provide some relief from the unintended ramifications of recent changes in the rules and regulations in the airline industry. The city of Riverton has been served by Great Lakes for many years. Recently, they have been forced to reduce or cancel the number of flights that service Riverton because of the pilot shortages caused by new rules regarding 1,500 hours, longer rest periods, and mandatory retirement age. These rules were implemented for the reason of safety. However, we don't believe that they were well thought out as to the repercussions they would have on air service in the country, and more specifically in the smaller regional airports. Before these regulations came into being, the city was constantly reaching an average of 1,300 employments a year. Last year, we didn't even reach 8,000, and this year is looking even lower. Without an exemption, the city will not receive the $1 million entitlement funding that is needed to keep up with necessary or mandated improvements to the airport. Unfortunately, customers flying on Great Lakes have become so frustrated that they have vowed to never use our airport again. They blame Great Lakes Airlines for the canceled flights, but the real problem is the pilot shortage caused by these new regulations. The 4 largest U.S. airlines alone will retire 18,000 pilots in the next 8 years. New FAA rest rules, FAR 117, increase staff needs by 3,600 to 6,000 additional pilots. New pilot training rules have increased minimum qualifications 6-fold, making it more difficult to replace lost pilots. These rules are having an adverse effect on the ability to recruit or retain regional air carriers at small airports. The city's been working to raise money for a minimum revenue guarantee to attract another airline to provide reliable, consistent air service. Even if the city could raise the money, the issue for a revenue guarantee is not that the equipment or airlines do not want to serve our communities as a pilot shortage. These new rules are crippling our ability to have consistent, reliable air service. At any point, Great Lakes could move out of Riverton and we won't have any options. Air service is critical to our community and the ability to retain or recruit business. Since we live remotely, we need your help to provide some relief from these rules. Thank you for supporting commercial air service and for your consideration. Signed by the mayor and city administrator. Copy of that goes to Congresswoman Loomis and another one to Senator Barrasso.
Your Honor, I just make comment on the vacancy, how this works. So it was effective July 15th, I believe you said.
Yeah.
And so we would actually declare the vacancy on the 21st of July. That would be our third meeting or second meeting in July. And at that point, we declare the vacancy and then start recruiting at that point.
Okay.
How long is the?
Is there any set period that has to be open? So then our first meeting in August, we could pick somebody and.
It just depends on how long the council wants to have it open for people to recruit. I think it was interesting, I think when we did it before, we had a long recruitment there, and at first we had 1 or 2, and by the end of it, we had several. So it really just depends on how long the council wants to put that recruitment in for. It could be a couple weeks, or it could be a couple days.
Your Honor,
Mr. Bailey?
are we required by any statute or anything to advertise for a certain period or anything like that, or?
But it doesn't state what, Your Honor, what we have to advertise for. It just says we have to advertise, so it doesn't say how long it has to be or how many times. It just.
Your Honor, I would like to recommend that we appoint somebody on the second meeting in August. A month. That would be my recommendation.
So our second meeting of August is
Yeah.
is the date we'd shoot for.
Hey, we shoot for you.
Sounds all right. Give us a couple meetings where it'll be short person, but be all right. Give us plenty of time for people to think about it and decide whether or not they want to pursue that. Okay? Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I got one comment. Jonathan, Councilman Fabian, it's been a pleasure working with you for the 6 months. Sorry we're going to lose you, but good luck on your new house.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
That's all I have.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
We're moved and seconded that we adjourn. Is there any discussion?
One discussion, sir. I'd like to invite everybody down to the Little League Ballpark Thursday night for the fireworks and the championship ball game. It'll be at The dinner starts serving at 5 o'clock, and the game starts at 6.
Are we gonna have good umpiring?
We're gonna have blind one.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.